And we're back. So last time we talked about Dark Souls and Demon Souls. So let's go ahead and jump into Dark Souls 2. Yeah.
I don't even know what I want to say about this game.
Dark Souls 2, for those of you who are unaware, was created... It was still created by From Software, but it was a different director who directed the game. And it turned out way differently. If you were to just watch gameplay videos of Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2, I feel like they would look very similar, but then you actually play Dark Souls 2, and you're like, this feels weird.
Yeah, no, you really need to be a fan of the games and, like, go from playing Dark Souls or Demon Souls, whatever one you want to play, and then you go and play Dark Souls 2, and you're going to notice a significant difference, especially in the storytelling. The storytelling is so different. I don't mean storytelling in the traditional sense of, you're watching cutscenes, and all the cutscenes is just in, like, a different order. It's the fact that you have Dark Souls, right? And it's one kind of, you start off in a linear world, and then you hit a point, and it all splits off, right? In like 4 different directions. Well, Dark Souls 2 does like the exact opposite. It starts off, and you have like 4 different directions you can go, and then after you hit the certain point, it just turns into a linear game. Yeah. I don't know if you noticed that, but it definitely jumped out at me, and I don't know if I cared too much for that, because like in the linear part of the game, it was really unexciting. And I mean, I don't know if you want to start talking about bosses, but bosses in that game.
Oh my god. Well, first off, let's mention that there's like a million of them, but they're not memorable.
None of them.
I can't name one boss in Dark Souls 2. Like, I could describe a boss in Dark Souls 2, but I can't name one boss in Dark Souls 2. Partially, though, that's because I actually only played through Dark Souls 2 once. I played through Demon Souls probably like 7 or 8 times. I played through Dark Souls, the first Dark Souls, like 5 or 6 times. I've only played through Dark Souls 2 once, and I've never played the DLC.
Yeah, see, I've actually, the DLC is probably the only redeeming quality about that game.
Maybe I should give it a shot.
So when I played it, I played through New Game Plus on the PS3. I never finished New Game Plus. And then I actually ended up getting it for PS4, and that was mainly to co-op it with a friend of mine. And actually, I do talk about the Souls game a little bit on the Unknown Connection website. You can probably share a link of that. But
yeah, that'll be a link in the description below. Please check it out.
But so, oh shit, I just lost track.
Talking about the DLC.
Oh, okay, right. So the DLC, the bosses, for once, I don't know if the same director had came back, or maybe they just finally decided, all right, let's actually put some thought into bosses. But the bosses are a bit more exciting. Like, you fight a couple dragons, and I mean, the areas are significantly more difficult than the rest of the game is. And I mean, if you play through most of the game, most of the bosses, I don't want to say they're palette swaps, but they feel like palette swaps because, you start the game up, and you're just like, this boss is essentially the same. He just has a couple attacks, and they're really easy to dodge. So you just dodge a couple attacks, and then you go in and attack him. And there's no strategy whatsoever involved. It's just a matter of, can you dodge, / did you invite any co-op partners that could easily make this boss manageable?
Right.
And then you get to the DLC, and it's like, okay, so this boss, for instance, I don't remember what her name was, but she, after you do so much damage to her, she actually summons another like statue, and the statue is just like one of the main bosses in the game. He was a guard for Vendrick. I don't remember what his name was, but you have to go and take him out while avoiding her attacks, and then you can finally go and attack her again. So there's a bit more strategy and thought involved, and it's pretty difficult to solo that, because I don't even think I soloed the DLC, because I was like, I don't really want to take my chances, and I don't know, it's just they put a lot more thought into the DLC than they did the main game.
I have heard that actually from some of my other friends who are into the Souls series, which is a big reason why I need to check out the DLC, but I haven't yet. A big thing about Dark Souls 2 that I didn't really like was honestly the world itself. I didn't feel like it stood out to me in any way. It just felt like a generic fantasy world. In Demon Souls, the Nexus and all the areas the Nexus lead into were all really interesting, and I felt like just the details about the world told their own story, and same with the world of Dark Souls. But Dark Souls 2, there was nothing about that really stuck out to me.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with that. And that's, again, kind of why I'm going back to the DLC. The first area was full of a lot of, like, kind of pitfall traps. Not like traps where you, like, walk over something and you just fall, but it's more like you'll run into, like, a group of, like, 6 enemies, but you're on a pretty enclosed space. So if you don't know how to, like, maneuver your way around the area, then you're probably going to end up falling off. / it's kind of like a maze, too. So you have to find your way through, not knowing where the heck you're going, and then try and, get through the area. So they've definitely put a lot more thought into it, and kind of the areas look nice. It's not like the main game. It's almost as if they put more of the thought into, like, the bosses than the areas themselves. I mean, we were already talking about bosses. And
Yeah, no.
They didn't put much thought into that either. I don't want to dog the game and say it's the worst thing in the world, but, like, if I want to compare this to another Souls game, Dark Souls or Demon Souls, don't do it.
Yeah. See, the thing is, like, I've been wanting kind of to buy Scholar of the First Sin for the PS4, but every time I think about playing in a Souls game, I just really want to play Demon Souls again or Dark Souls again. I don't really want to play Dark Souls 2 again because I just didn't have that amazing experience with it. So it seems like you think the DLC is a lot better than the main game. Do you think the DLC on its own stands up to Dark Souls or Demon Souls at all?
Definitely not. I mean, it's still, like... For instance, I mean, you're not going to reach the DLC until you already kind of have a good grasp of the game. But, like, if we go back to the main game for a minute and talk about the Estus Flask system. So, obviously, they changed that significantly. You start off with 1 Estus Flask, and you have to find shards and take them back to... Is it just any bonfire, or do you have to take them back to the main bonfire? It's one or the other. You might have to take it back to the main bonfire, and then... use that shard to actually gain an Estus Flask. And I think you can only go up to, like, 11 on your first playthrough.
I think you're right.
I think it's around there, and it's in the low teens. And it's like, now you're relying on these items that give you a slow heal, right? So you you pop this little shard, and then it doesn't even heal you as much as you want, but it heals you at a slower rate as well. And actually, Estus Flasks have a delay on them as well. It's not an immediate, all right, my health just healed this much. No, this is like you see your health going up at a little bit of a faster rate. And it actually makes it a big problem when you're fighting enemies, because if an enemy comes up and slashes you and you're taking a drink, you're probably going to die because, I mean, even though you're healing, you're not healing faster than he's hurting you. And I don't think that was a very smart idea on their part. And that's kind of why I like Dark Souls better. But, I mean, little things like that kind of add up, and even though the DLC is a lot of fun, it definitely doesn't compare. It's
still Dark Souls 2.
Yeah, it's still Dark Souls 2.
Yeah. I do understand what you mean. The healing, I don't think that they have perfected it, but I thought it was good enough in Dark Souls. They should have just used that same system again.
Right.
But there is one thing Dark Souls 2 did better than Dark Souls. There's one thing, in my opinion.
No way.
Yeah.
That's way.
The online. Do you remember trying to play with your friends online in Dark Souls?
For a second there, I was actually about to think back to Bloodborne online, and then I was going to say, I don't know what you're actually thinking, because the online system for Bloodborne is horrible.
I don't agree with you.
You don't agree with me?
Not even a little
Oh, it
bit.
is so bad.
I do not agree with you even a little bit.
But we'll go back to Dark Souls 2 for that. We'll discuss that in a bit, I guess, whenever we decide to talk about Bloodborne.
Yeah, we'll get there. But, yeah, because in the original Dark Souls, there wasn't any dedicated servers. So, you put your sign down, half the time you wouldn't be able to get summoned. The other half of the time, you would try to summon someone and it would fail. And if you try to play with friends, just don't try to play with friends, because it's not going to work. I remember I tried to play through the whole game with one of my friends, and I realized that it's a game made to play with strangers, but I want to play with my friends, it's an online game. And what we'd have to do is we'd have to just stand there, and we'd have to, like, spam the sign. Like, we'd put it down, our screens were right next to each other, TV screens. He'd put it down, I would stare at my screen. If it didn't show up after 20 seconds, he'd put it down again. And we'd have to do that for about 5 minutes before I actually would ever see it. And then sometimes it would still fail.
Yeah.
To summon them. Demon Souls never had this issue. Atlas is actually still holding up the servers for Demon Souls.
I can't believe they decided to do that too.
They were going to shut down those servers like almost 3 years ago, and they're still up.
I think it's because the day before they had decided to turn the servers off, like, so many players actually logged on.
Yeah.
That they were just like, you know what? Nope, we're just going to go ahead and leave it up.
And that's just another reason on my long list of reasons why I love Atlas. But that's for another video.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. They definitely did the internet, the online a lot better. The one thing I didn't care too much for, and I mean, they had a workaround for it with the whole. I think there was either a ring for it, or it was just that the name engraved ring.
Yeah.
But I didn't care for the soul memory.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm fine with just having the level ranges. I mean, I can see why it'd be kind of annoying to try and have these people who, they remain at a low level, like level 4, and this was a problem on Dark Souls, and I think it's exactly why they decided to do it.
No, you're 100%
and you'd have
correct.
these people who would beat the game without leveling up, and they'd go back to the starting area of the game and then just start PvPing with these new players. And it's like, you're really discouraging the the gameplay because these guys haven't even started the game up, and you're just here farming, trying to make their lives miserable because, you already
Just
went
for
through
no reason.
the misery of the game and not have to worry about these people invading you.
I gotta say though, I kind of get their mentality. It's kind of the way I felt back when I did my online thing in Demon's Souls.
Such a dick.
I guess that is the new way to be an asshole in the Souls series, but they eliminated that with Dark Souls 2, like you said.
But yeah, so I think that's why they kind of decided to add the soul memory. I didn't care for it too much, and like I said, they did have to work around with the name engraved ring.
Yeah.
You choose a similar goddess, and then you can put your sign down, hope that no one else picked that goddess.
Right.
They made it a lot easier to join your friends when you wanted to co-op with them.
Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about Dark Souls 2, do you?
Probably not. I mean, I kind of vented already. Enough about that game. So many problems with it.
I don't have as long of a vent, probably just because I only played through it once and never played the DLC. But so far, I'm assuming your order is the same as mine. Demon Souls, Dark Souls, then Dark Souls 2 so far.
Yep.
Based on what we talked about.
Yep.
Great. So next we're going to talk about Bloodborne.
Okay.
Which is not actually a Souls game per se, but it's made by the same people.
Let's be real here. It's still a Souls game.
Yeah, I mean, it follows the same format. And
It's an aggressive Souls game.
yeah.
Because, it's really hard to notice at first, but you're going to find, as you're playing the game, that if you don't get aggressive with bosses, you're going to get eaten alive.
Yeah, that game is all about the offensive with the new way you can heal after you get hit by attacking.
Yep.
I actually love that. That was probably one of my favorite new features about Bloodborne. The way that they reward you for not having a shield and just holding it up. Because that was my strategy in the Souls games. Have the best shield, have the most stability.
That's how you have to do it.
Yeah.
It's a reaction.
But in Bloodborne, that is not the case at all.
Yeah, no, and it was it's a half and half for me because I kind of liked it. I kind of didn't. Well, I'm not going to say I kind of liked it. It kind of made sense to me. That'd probably be a more accurate statement to make. The armor system in that game. So in this game, armor is basically useless.
Yeah, it's Fashion Souls.
Yeah, it's Fashion Souls. Unless the armor has one specific type that the defense is greater on, and even then it's not that much greater. Armor, you could probably run around naked and you'd have higher defense than you would if you put armor on in the game. Because I think they have really small numbers attached to the status up, the boosts to your all your different stats. And unless you get there's armor that defends against magic attacks, and there's a boss later on in the game that when you play him on New Game Plus, he has one magic attack that'll probably annihilate you in one shot. But if you have this armor on, you have a chance at surviving it because you have it on. But aside from that, it literally has no meaning. And it makes sense because, this game, you're trying to be more aggressive. You're not trying to be defensive and then react to it. And that's why it makes sense. But I just don't know if I really cared too much for it because I like being able to, level up my armor so I could actually take a hit.
Right.
So
I have a similar kind of issue with Bloodborne. I also am not a huge fan of the no armor thing, but I do love playing Fashion Souls, so it's kind of a give and take.
I guess you put the doll outfit on.
Yeah, but the thing about Bloodborne is that there's just a lot less items than the other Souls games, if you hadn't noticed. Weapons, if you want to play with the threaded cane, you'll probably just be using the same threaded cane throughout the whole game, just upgrading it. There's not really more threaded cane options. Whereas in Dark Souls, if you were happy with a type of weapon, there was a bunch of weapons of that type. So if you want to play with a sword, there's a bunch of swords. You want to play with this, there's a bunch of this. But Bloodborne, it was like each weapon was its own unique thing, and therefore you didn't have a bunch of different weapons. You just had a lot of really weird weapons.
And that's good for, the people that want a collection, because it's a lot easier to reach, the maximum amount in your collection. But then, like you said before, I mean, you don't have a lot of options to pick from. And, you might even find that, like, the one starter weapon that you played with was like, oh, this is the best weapon I've got. All these other ones are crap.
That's exactly what happened to me in Bloodborne. I started with the axe. The axe that can extend to the long axe, and I kept upgrading and it kept getting really strong, and I'd find new weapons that I thought were really cool, like the hammer sword thing.
Oh, the Kirk hammer?
Yeah, the Kirk hammer. But my axe, because I upgraded it so much, was better, so I just kept using the axe.
There was only one weapon that ended up, like, I was switching between the axe and this weapon. It was the Ludwig's Holy Blade.
I love that weapon.
And it has, tremendous amount of power when it's in its large sword form.
Yeah. But
the axe, in its core, in either form, it has about the same strength, and it's pretty powerful. Just not as powerful as the strong form of the Ludwig's weapon. So that's why I kind of switched between those a lot, just because, they both had their own unique purposes.
Definitely. And that is something that I do like about Bloodborne. Like I said, with the last thing, it's another give and take. I like that they all have their unique differences. They're all very different weapons, but you get this uniqueness at the sacrifice of quantity. But I wouldn't say it's quality over quantity, because I still think the quality of all the different weapons in the Dark Souls games were great. Like, there were so many of them, and they were all of, like, good quality, like, well made, easy to use.
Yeah.
And you could upgrade them just as well. So it's a give and take still. Now,
hold on before you get to online, because I know that's what you were about to say.
Yeah, it was.
What do you think of the story, like the overall areas, before we jump on
that's smart.
The online bandwagon?
You mean like what I said about Dark Souls 2? How I didn't like those areas?
Yeah.
I actually like the areas in Bloodborne a lot. I still don't like him as much as Demon Souls or Dark Souls. I like it more than Dark Souls 2. It has a very different feel. The word that describes it, and I know there's a better word for it, but like Cthulhu, like you said about the mages and Demon Souls.
Cthulhu.
Yeah, like everything is that like Lovecraftian kind of style, and I kind of like it a lot. There's not many games in that style, so...
I think my favorite part in that sense, too, is, I guess I don't want to say, like, any specific style for any specific area, but I like that they brought back the hub from Demon Souls. I really missed that. Like I was saying, in the first, I think it's part 1, I really enjoyed the hub, and then you go to these different areas. Now, in this game, they kind of mix together the whole interconnected world and the hub. And, I mean, you can even find the hub in-game, like, without actually being there. Mm-hmm. And it's like a secret area. I don't remember what the Hunter's... No.
Hunter's Dream?
Well, it's called the Hunter's Dream in the hub. I don't remember what they actually call it when you reach the area.
Right.
So it kind of goes back to the lore. So if you start looking into the lore, it's really interesting how the game works. But, I was really happy that they brought that back. It made me feel like there's still hope for Demon Souls to come back. But
when they first showed the announcement trailer for Bloodborne, I was like, this is going to be Demon Souls 2. This is going to be Demon Souls 2. And then it was Bloodborne.
I know, right?
But Bloodborne is the closest thing I think we've gotten to Demon Souls 2. I think Bloodborne's a little bit closer to Demon Souls 2 than Dark Souls. A little bit.
It definitely was.
Yeah.
I mean, like I was saying earlier, they brought back the hub. I mean, they ended up keeping the Dark Souls.
Exclusive.
Right? Well, yeah.
Just like Demon Souls was.
Well, Demon Souls became a Sony exclusive.
Right.
Because, like we were talking about originally, it was owned by Atlas at first. They published it, and then Sony bought the rights to it.
Yeah.
And then they didn't think for some reason that it was going to blow up like it did.
Yeah.
And then you have Dark Souls come out, and it's like, you guys should have made a sequel a long time ago.
You messed up.
All right, now we can talk about your online.
So, I'm really confused as to why you said earlier that you think the online in Bloodborne is terrible, because let me go ahead and say why I think it's great first.
Okay.
And then you can shoot me down.
Just to preface it, I'm just going to say, if you're going to talk about PvP, that's probably going to be completely different, because I didn't do PvP.
I wasn't going to talk
about you're going to talk about co-op? Okay.
I was going to talk about co-op, yeah. So, the big thing I absolutely loved about the Bloodborne Online is the password. You can put in a password, and your friend can put in the same password, and then you can connect together. I have played Bloodborne with probably 4 or 5 different people, and have never had a problem joining their games because of this password system. Every now and then, I would have to wait like maybe 4 minutes but that's nothing compared to how hard of a time I've had.
Dark Souls.
Yeah, Dark Souls, where I think I've legitimately done that for an hour without being able to play with my friend. So with the bell, it's kind of awkward, and I feel like it makes it a little bit harder to summon randoms, and you can't quite get a visual on how many people are in an area like you could with the soul signs on the ground. So I do miss that about the soul signs, but I just think that me being able to play with my friends was worth it. It was worth losing the soul signs. I wish I could have both, but if I can't, then I'd choose this one.
You're probably gonna laugh because like I have two things, and one of them is essentially the exact opposite of what you had just mentioned before.
Okay.
So, and they ended up fixing it. So I'm not gonna say that it's the worst thing in the world, because it's definitely not. I mean, Dark Souls, that you can't beat how bad Dark Souls Online was. But before they had patched it, I actually had the problem of not being able to connect with anyone, and if I did connect with someone, it would take like half an hour of time just to sit there, and then oh wow, it finally worked. So there was multiple times where like we tried and get a group of like 3 going, and we would have to coordinate, okay, this is where we're gonna go stand to actually summon each other, right? So then you use your bell, and you can use the password, and I do like the password's really good, and it basically takes over the name engraved ring.
Yeah,
from Dark
I think
Souls
it's a little
2.
bit better than the name engraved ring.
No, that's definitely more efficient. But we would go to this little spot, someone uses the big bell, and then the other 2 have to use this small bell, and we'd sit there. One person gets summoned after, like, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. And this is just how my experience has been.
Right.
And then the other person, we'd be sitting there. Half an hour's gone by. 45 minutes gone by. An hour's gone by. I don't think this is going to work. Try having them reset the game. They come back in. Use the bell again. Half an hour's gone by. 45 minutes gone by. Still haven't connected.
Wow.
I literally had that problem until they finally had patched it, and then it fixed itself a little bit, and it got better, So I'm not going to say it was always terrible, because they definitely improved on it. But the only other thing I don't like about it, and I mean, it makes sense that they did it, is the fact that they used the bells. I like being able to like look around on the ground and see the summon sign and know I'm grabbing them.
Yeah.
Whereas you're sitting there, you don't know whether or not they're in the exact same spot. You really have to coordinate, like, this is the exact spot, this is the landmark that I'm looking at, this is where we're at, let's do this.
No, you're totally right about that, and that's what I was saying a little bit earlier about I like seeing the soul signs, and I wish that we could have had both the soul signs and the password system on dedicated servers, and then that would have been the perfect like Souls online game experience. So if Dark Souls 3 can do something like that, that would be beautiful. So just do that, Dark Souls 3, even though you're out in 2 weeks. So it's too late to change it.
Is it 2 weeks?
It comes out March 24th.
Are you sure it's not Japan? Because I thought they delayed it to like April sometime.
I will kill somebody
the US.
if you're right.
I think in the US it's in April.
I don't think you're right.
You can Google it right now. Yeah, that's exactly what you're doing. You're Googling it right now. I'm telling you, I'm due American release date. Actually type American, because I'm pretty sure. Look at that. April 2016 release date.
This was 6 months ago.
I'm telling you, man, it's in April. I know you had that one video where you showed that the release date was
in March, yeah. Because if you just do that, then
they're going to give you the 24th. Go to
the Wikipedia.
Because
that like separates it.
Worldwide, April 12th, 2016.
I am so upset.
Yeah,
I am so sad.
I'm saying, like,
I've never been as sad.
Yeah,
as
I went and
now.
pre-ordered it recently on PSN. I saw it was in April. So
see, I saw that on PSN too. I thought the digital release date was like later for some reason.
Yeah, it's later than Japan.
Which they used to do a lot. Now they always do the day one digital release. Oh, man.
And preload it.
I'm not going to lie to you. I requested off work March 24th.
Oh, no.
I was that excited, but I'm going to have to change that.
Actually, some people, they were going to actually release it the Friday before that. And then they pushed it back to that Tuesday, the 12th. And some people I know actually ended up requesting off that Friday. And they're like, are you freaking kidding me? Now I'm going to waste this entire weekend not doing anything.
I was going to play Dark Souls. Oh, man. I am really upset. Thank you for letting me know that, though. I would have
go to your boss and be like, oh, yeah, I'm actually going to be showing up that day. I'm going to take off Tuesday instead.
I would have shown up at GameStop on March 24th and been like, here for Dark Souls 3.
And they'd have been like, what the hell are you doing here?
Like, go away.
do you not know they pushed it back
stupid?
to April 12th? Like, what are you doing? Yeah, no. Have you been watching very many videos? Because I literally have only watched one trailer.
I only watched that trailer so I could put it in my Slashy Souls video. And that was the first time I saw the trailer, and that was the only trailer I've watched.
I wonder if it's the same one I watched.
If you watched my Slashy Souls video, then you saw a bit of it.
Well, I saw a bit of it. I don't remember what exactly I saw the trailer.
Yeah,
I did
that's fair.
see because I saw it like last year sometime.
Right.
So it's been a while.
But the one trailer I watched for it looks really cool. I really don't want to watch more on it because I'm not trying to spoil myself.
What I've definitely noticed is they're going for a Bloodborne take at it. I definitely noticed that it's going to be much faster paced. It might still be reactionary.
Yeah.
And I can't say for sure. I didn't play the beta when it was out. And
Me neither.
I didn't watch any trailers or anything aside from the one. And that one was like a story trailer too. It wasn't even like real gameplay.
Right.
And I noticed that, there was a lot more rolling. It was a lot faster rolling. Because, I just played Dark Souls 2 recently on the PS4, right? Mm-hmm. And I could just feel it. You'd press circle. And especially after playing Bloodborne, which has, an immediate response.
Yeah.
You have a second delay.
Yeah, you do.
And it's so noticeable when you switch from one game to another, and then you're going to roll out of a boss's way, and you did it too late because of that one second response. Yeah. And it really kills you. But it looks like they're trying to avoid that with this one. I don't know if they have a hub in it. I don't know anything.
Me neither.
Really looking forward to it.
I'm so excited for Dark Souls 3. Think about it all the time. It's sad how much I think about it. But I don't do research because I don't want to be spoiled. So
there is one thing, though. I heard that this is supposedly going to be the last game.
I heard that too.
The last Souls game they're going to make.
I heard that too.
To try and not do the whole Call of Duty thing.
Which I can understand, but I just want more games of this style. It's cool if there's no Dark Souls 4. The Dark Souls series can end, but I still want to have games like this, like another Bloodborne type game, and maybe a Demon Souls 2, which I can't say that they definitely will be willing to do something like that, but I don't think that them continuing to release a game that is popular is them doing the whole Call of Duty thing. As long as they're not just
making the same game every year.
Not shitting one out every year, then they'll be fine. As long as they're taking their time and making something they care about and something the fans can care about, then I don't see anything wrong with it.
It still would be kind of exciting to see kind of like a new IP, though.
It would.
Because, and this isn't entirely exact example of what I'm looking at, but they went from Uncharted, Naughty Dog went from Uncharted to The Last of Us, and yeah, it has very similar gameplay, but there's still a significant difference. I mean, it's still its own IP.
Right.
I kind of want to see them do something like that, and you can kind of compare that to Bloodborne from Souls games. Yeah. But I'm talking don't entirely change the genre, but do something significantly different. It's kind of a fresh take on the genre itself.
I 100% agree with you on that. And so I hope From Software keeps making games that I absolutely love. And I hope Dark Souls 3 gives me the enjoyment that Demon Souls gave me. That would just make my life.
Hashtag standards.
Anyway, thanks so much for talking to me about the Souls series for an hour. I appreciate that.
It's been fun.
It has been fun.
It's been real.
Like I said before, check out the Unknown Connection blog. It's in the link in the description
podcast,
below. Yep. For just the last thing before we leave. So order of games. How you like them?
Order of games. Let's go. Are we going to go from worst to best?
Best to worst.
Okay, so definitely Demon Souls, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Dark Souls 2.
I am in the exact same boat, 100%, so I don't even need to restate it. Yeah, hopefully Dark Souls 3 can make it to the top there. I'll probably have another video on that when it comes out, a video review. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and
subscribe
and like it, and tell your friends about it, and keep watching.
Hide your kids, hide your wife, and hide your husband.
I don't have one.
Because they're raping everybody out here.